prefabricated structures. In our previous lectures, we have discussed about types of joints and expansion, contraction, other joints in structural members. Now we are going to discuss about sealants and connection. This is going to be our last lecture in our 4th unit. So let's discuss about that. Sealant. So sealant is nothing but we are going to connect the members, right? So in this between the old concrete and new concrete, that is nothing but precasted and which is grouted. In that, if you have any gap is present on that part, then you are going to use some sealant. Okay, you are going to use some sealant. So sealant is nothing but it is like a paste. So by that you can avoid the crack. Okay, by that you can avoid the crack which is occurred due to the temperatural changes and also the movement of the structures. And then you need to be careful at designing the joint places, right? Because generally the crack width in joints can be limited, but it cannot be avoided. Okay, so you need to make a careful handling in designing of such joints. And then sealant is mainly used to achieve water tightness, right? And it is majorly used at the external joints, not in the internal one. So this is all about the sealant part. Now we need to know how it should be selected. Okay, there is always some reasons which will be hidden for selecting some particular applications, right? So same way here we are going to choose sealants based upon the type of structure and strain levels. Okay, and then also the temperature and the life of sealant and its properties. Based upon that, you are going to select what is being distributed in the market. So you need to know what are the basic things which are available in the market. So for that I have given I have shown you the examples: silicon based, urethane based, acrylic based and polysulfate based sealants. So these are some of the sealants which are available in the market, and you need to choose according to the type of structure, strain levels, temperature and life and its properties. And then we are moving on to the next part, that is connection. So in this we are going to discuss about the structural connection and also the connecting medium. So that is the first one, connecting medium. So in right hand side you can see that in the flow chart that we have shown you that rivet, bolt, weld, bolted, welded, pinned connection. So this is nothing but you are going to connect the members, okay, by using some medium. Either it may be a welding or bolted or riveted. You have previously discussed in these things in DSS. So you have studied these things. Same thing is going to be done here. So you are going to learn some basics about that. So we will discuss. So the first one is riveted connection. So riveted is safe and serviceable steel connection. So it is the safest one and also it gives serviceable factor. So it gives serviceability, and then it is similar to the bearing type of bolted construction. So riveted connection is similar to the bolted connection, that is bearing type bolted connection. And then shank, we know the shank. So during the process, okay, the shank of the rivet, it's completely or nearly fill the holes, either completely or nearly fill the holes. Okay, so this is the riveted connection, and we move on to the bolted connection. So you know what is meant by bolt connection. We are using bolts to connect the members. So it is connected by the fasteners, and then based upon the line of action of loads, based on the orientation of the orientation of the member, you can name it, you can say what the bolts are loaded, either in a tension, shear or combination of that. Okay, so depending on the direction and line of action of loads relative to the orientation and location of bolts, it can be, it may be loaded in tension, shear, or combination of shear. So this is also a major part in bolted connection, to know what type of load is acting on the bolt. And then type of bolt. Generally we have two types of bolts. One is bearing type and high strength frictional grip bolts. And then welded connection. So welded connection are primarily used for every structural members. So you know that when we are going to do some in RCC construction, when you are going to connect both bars, reinforcement above 32 mm, you should not go for lapping. Instead of that, you need to go for welding, because the load value will be maximum. So generally by that application you can name that if the bending moment and forces which are coming and acting on the member is very high, then you can go for welded connection. So it is going to be a permanent connection. And then here also we need to discuss about the type of weld. So there is groove, fillet, plug and slot. And then position, either it can be horizontal, vertical, overhead, and also flat. And type of joints, what are the type in joining the joining the medium, butt, lap, corner, edge and T. These are type of joints. And by use of welding you can eliminate the punching or drilling which is used in the material, right? And then it also requires skilled worker. So this is all about welded connection. By this part you have here we have discussed about the medium. Okay, it is going to be a medium for connection. In next part we are going to discuss about the structural connections. So here in this structural connection we are going to discuss about beam to column and column to column, beam to beam and column to foundation. So first we are going to discuss about the beam to column connection. It is connected by using the corbels. Okay, the first one is using corbels, second one is by using of steel angles. So if you are going to connect the beam and column, the column have some corbel structure in that. So you are going to place the beam above the corbel. In between that you are going to place some bearing pad. It is like an elastic medium. And steel angles also will be welded. It is going to be welded to the metal plates. Okay, and then by that you are going to connect the beam and column, and the in between gap which will be grouted and it becomes a solid medium. So by this beam to column connection is done. And then column to column connection. So column to column connection is nothing but we are going to use some bearing medium as previously discussed, bearing pads. Same way we are going to use some metal bearing plates, and then we are going to embed it with anchor bolts, and it going to be casted in the end of column. After joining the columns, the connection is going to be grouted, and the full bearing between the elements, it will be protected from the corrosion and fire. So this is column to column connection. And then third one is beam to beam connection. Before going to the beam to beam connection, you need to know some several important things while you go for beam to beam connection. So you need to know at what place, at what position you are going to connect the beam to beam, either it in a middle position or at a corner, because at middle position there will be a huge load on bending, and at column it will be a huge load of shear. So you need to go through that, and then you need to choose that. Here we are going to connect with by two things. One is welding and by another one is rod. So when we have considerable vertical force and horizontal force and moment, then you can go for welding. If it is transferring very large vertical and horizontal moments, in that place you need to connect it by rod. So this is about beam to beam connection. And then last part, column to foundation connection. So column to foundation connection, it is obtained by anchorage. Okay, it is obtained by anchorage. The first part is anchorage, and then longitudinal bars, reinforcement bars, which will be protruded from the base of column, and the corrugated sleeves inserted into the foundation and filled with no shrinkage mortar. So this is the first thing. And then connection of column to foundation, right? It is obtained through steel sockets inserted in the column base and bolted to the foundation. In this we are going to connect the column to foundation by steel plate. At the column base you can see some steel plate which will be placed above the foundation, and we are going to connect the column base and the foundation through the bolts. So by this process the connection will be done, and then the connection of column to the foundation is obtained through prefabricated steel shoes which will be at the foundation. By that you are going to connect the members. So by this the theoretical part of connection is getting over, and in next slide we will view some images, some cross sectional view about the connection which was done in the structures. So the first one is beam to column connection. You can see the bearing patch which is placed above the corbel, and it has been just placed above the corbel. The beam is just placed above the corbel, and you can see the column to column connection. So that is also you can see that grouting is done. You can see the bolt is also been done previously, and after that the finishing is done with the help of grout and also sealant. And here you can see beam to column connection. Here single double bars and double bars are used. Single double bars are mainly used at the place of where the moment force are minimum, and double bars are used where moment forces are very huge. So it will prevent the twisting force which is acting on the beam. By that you can hold it in a right position. And then this is the last part, column to foundation. So ABC, first you can see some sleeves are being fitted in the foundation and it is being connected with the column base. And second part you can see some socket which is fitted in the column base, and it is been mortared with the foundation. And then third part you can see with the help of some steel plate we are going to bolt both the part, and then connection has been done. So by this your fourth unit is been revised. By this your fourth unit is getting over, and in next lecture we will discuss about the progressive collapse, which is the fifth unit, abnormal loads. And I am just revising all the topics which are given in the syllabus, not going in depth to the topic. So if you need to know some more technical information, you need to surf the net and you need to find it out, right? So I am just revising it with the syllabus. So that is done here. Thank you.